Good morning. It's Reverend White Buffalo Catwoman. Today, I'm going to talk about what's that, a one-word title. It's called Vacancy. And it has a very long story. And I don't know how much I can get in, but I have to tell the whole story, and it's going to take forever. I lived in Chowchilla. I lived at 570 Park Ridge Drive in Chowchilla, and I left in 2015 after a rape in 2014, in October of 2014. And I prepped, and God helped me, and I bought an RV, and we left Chowchilla. I think it was May 5th, because I stayed a few days extra to clean the house. So we got in the car, or not in the car, but in the RV, after getting rid of a ton of stuff. We had to dump a ton of stuff. And I put some stuff in storage, 2 storage lockers. And had one over at Bussey's storage, another one over at, I think, Chowchilla storage, I think is what it's called. I hope I got the names right. This has been 10 years. So we get in the RV, and I was supposed to turn the keys over to Chowchilla Realty face to face, but I couldn't meet her on that time because God said you need to leave because they want to try to nail you on damage that's been done before you got there. And they didn't walk the house with you on purpose, and you walked the house and noted everything down that you could see, and they didn't dispute it. So he says to do it the way that we know to do, which is to mail the keys back, because she was already given the notice. And so we mailed the keys back, and God had guided me to do this. Father did. I'm Jewish and Native. And Christian, or actually Catholic. And so I got them everywhere, don't I? Do. It's Holy Blessed there too. And they're my driving force and my wonder and spectacular in this life that is so bizarre. And so on with the story. So I go and I opened up a P.O. box over there in Chowchilla. And I needed something, but then I had forwarded all my bills over to my ex-husband's mother, and I knew that I could call and she would forward it to me. Boy, was that a mistake, but a glorified one on high, because after I had left, she had taken my stuff and she took my bank deposit information and my social security information and robbed me from it all. It took about a year because they had to get rights, and it's weird. They had to get the kids back. So this is what happened. I got in the car and I went to the mail post box, and I went to deliver the package of the keys to Chowchilla Realty. Christina Phillips was her name, and I don't know what she goes by now, but I'm assuming she still goes by that name. So I get in the car, and me and the kids start heading down the road. And in my life, being so close to God and going through all the tests and required of me as a SALT for the Native Americans here, not for BIA, but yes, I do work for BIA on my own and not under contract. And I do work for NASA on my own and not under contract. And I do work for CIA under lineage contract. And I do work for Department of Defense because CIA is part of Department of Defense. So they say, well, how can you work in different places? I say, well, no, I was born under a NASA project called Angel Flight. And some projects have, like Illuminati has demon whatever, and they try to bring in demon warriors for the military. I know. And NASA is with global defenses, so we're trying to secure the globe with angel flight, and they used DNA from Fauzia when they did the in vitro, and they used my mother, and they used who's considered like goddess, and then my father, and he's I don't like to put it out there because I don't want any legitimacy to hit yet. I want it to just, I want to bypass the drama. I don't want it to be about that family. I want it to be about my mother's family, because they think she's insignificant and she's a Romanov. And that's a big deal. And my mother was Marilyn Monroe, and she was the daughter of Anastasia Romanoff Anderson. And I'm going to say it to your face as loud and proud as I can be, because she was never denounced by the Romanov family. She was identified. And the only one who denounced her was England. And it's very simple, because that's where the Nazis came from. And their cousin. And so they went knock, 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 bang, bang, bang. And that's how they got to the Romanov treasures people. The treasured people. They didn't get to the wealth. And that's important for you to understand, is because they thieving and replacing with government. And we know, if you're into theology, we know that government is a kingdomship of Cain. And I don't want to go into the Bible stuff too much with you, but I will tell you, the three sons, you have Abel, Cain, and Seth. And Seth is the father of the tribes of Israel and of Arabia. Cain is the father of government and the Nazi and all that. And then Abel is the father, yes, he had children. He's the father of native and of Asian. And these are the children that have been prosecuted a lot like Jewish, because see, the Savior came from there for the soul. Christianity and Judaism and Muhammad, they've all had their own, and I'm not going to go in there to say which is greater, because they're both loved by God, and that can't inherit unless they were bred into the native. And that's what they knew, because if it came down to a universal quantum property, it couldn't be Cain. It has to be Abel, and Abel is the father of the tribes of Native and of Asia. And so therein you have the four. You have the four, the two on Abel's, and the two primaries that chosen by God. That doesn't mean they're the only. They're the primaries that God chose in order to get rid of the bad. That's just the way it is, and that's what God told me. You can pray. I don't have time for a long dispute or a long conversation. I won't. I've been through way too much, and I need to tell you what I've been through, but I need you to understand that this is important, that's important, this is important, these people are important. All these people are important. So I got Christ lineage was like Muhammad DNA also in there by way of Fauzia, who was the queen of Iran, came from the Egypt royal lineage as a princess, Princess Fauzia Farouk, I think she's Fuad, and then they bypassed Cain's people and went to Sitting Bull, and then there's an emperor of Asia somewhere in there, and I don't know yet, because it's just not there, and I think I can't talk about it. It's a quantum thing, and it has to do with, but God says I have an Asian princess from long ago, and I'm not discounting it. I just don't know yet. because it's released to me when I'm ready to utilize that, and I have utilized some of it. I know who is there available to me, but I can't tell you who she came from. I know she came from an emperor, but I won't go in there on time. So let's continue on about the trip that I took. I only got a few minutes. So we get in the car, and we're heading down south to Lancaster, and it starts, and it's like the angels are in the sky, and I had to get all the way down up. I knew if I can get all the way down south and go up the Grapevine, if I could get it there before it starts thundering and everything, it'd be great. And I've driven underneath a tornado, and I've fought with hurricane. The tornado thing I'll tell you later. It's a Texas trip or something. Yeah, it was Texas trip to Louisiana or Oklahoma. I can't remember. It was one of those that we took, and with Sandra. I was in the 90s. So I had to get down to Lancaster, and the angels are in the sky, and I can sense them, and I could see things, and I'm a visionary. I'm native, so I'm a visionary, big visionary. So all the way down till I got up to the Grapevine, and the clouds were just following me, chasing me. I had to get gas right before at the base right there. I had to go get gas, and I had God to say you had to hurry. And so the sky was closing in on me, and I just had to get up that Grapevine. And so I finally got up that Grapevine, and there was just one little itty bitty clearing right there, and the rest was just like tornadoes to the left and tornadoes to the right, looking kind of skies. It was just like horrid. And so the angels just kind of drove me up there. And so I got up to the top right there, and just the minute I got there, the sky closed and everything attacked, it seemed. It was thunderstorm. And when I got over, it was amazing. I only got a minute or two. I could hear the gods of the sky arguing with each other. And I would stand out in the rain in Lancaster. We found a little spot. I had it rented already. And I backed in there. It was pouring down rain already. And I had to get all my kids settled. I had three, my biological, I had two adopted. So we were settling in. Everybody was kind of terrified. And we were settling in, and that week I'd go outside, and it was just raining like crazy. And the thunder was going boom, 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 boom. And I could hear one God yelling at these gods, and this one yelling at that God, and this one yelling at that God, and I know who they were. And I'm thinking, okay,